Hemophilia of Georgia is a nonprofit agency that serves people with inherited bleeding disorders. We work so that people with hemophilia, von Willebrand disease, and platelet disorders can live as normally and productively as possible.
Oftentimes, bleeding disorders are diagnosed at birth. However, they can be diagnosed at any point during the lifespan.
Ryan was diagnosed in the hospital at birth. We decided to have him circumcised, and the circumcision site wouldn't stop bleeding, and so that's how we found out about the hemophilia. And at the time, it was just, I felt blindsided because I didn't even think about the fact that my brother, who had passed away in 1993, had hemophilia, so I didn't get screened, and it was just really, really difficult for me. And I know Marcus took it pretty hard too.
Yeah, I was totally shocked. I didn't know much about it, and I was just nervous and just total wreck.
When someone is diagnosed with a bleeding disorder, they can often feel many different emotions like sadness, fear, and isolation.
When we brought Ryan home from the hospital, it was kind of a traumatic issue then. I was dealing with the guilt of the realization that I had passed this on to Ryan, and that I had so many things that we had to do, and thinking about giving my brand new baby shots was just completely overwhelming.
Early intervention with bleeding disorders is extremely important. Oftentimes people have questions. They're not sure what their bleeding disorder means and how it will affect their everyday life. Once a person is referred to HOG, the nurse and the social worker will call the family and arrange a time to come out and visit with them and discuss whatever their needs are.
The role of a social worker and the nurse to a family who has just received a diagnosis for hemophilia or other bleeding disorder, or if you have a new family that's relocated to Georgia, is for support, education, and to help them learn that they can live with this diagnosis.
Hemophilia of Georgia has had a tremendous impact in our lives. When Chase was born and we found out that he had hemophilia, we'd never really heard of it before. We didn't know what to expect, but they have counselors and social workers on hand, people that can help you get through insurance questions, nurses that come out to your home and visit your school. When it came time to put Chase in school, we wanted someone to be there that would know enough about what hemophilia is to make sure that he was taken care of, which was a tremendous asset to our family.
Hemophilia of Georgia, as a nonprofit, operates a pharmacy that's able to provide people medications at reduced cost. It's the only pharmacy in the state that specializes in medication for people with bleeding disorders. The funds that we get from this pharmacy allow us to fund all of our programs throughout the state, including hemophilia treatment centers in Atlanta, Augusta, and Savannah. These state-of-the-art facilities are where you can go to get the best care.
Our experience with the pharmacy has been awesome.
I've had a great experience doing it. We do about every month. I make a big order, and I make a simple call, and everything just goes without a hitch. They drop it off at the door 2 or 3 days later, and I can't ask for anything else.
For my clients who use the HOG or Beacon Pharmacy, I also provide education and in-home training for self-infusions. My goal is to teach our parents how to perform the necessary infusions while their child is young. When the child is old enough, I will also teach them how to do infusions themselves. Often this means that I will be in the home 2 or 3 times a week until the family and the child are comfortable with the infusion process.
It's very important to Hemophilia of Georgia to make sure that our families experience as little stress as possible. Our online handbook contains valuable information for living with a bleeding disorder for clients, families, and their communities. We have a 24-hour physician-to-physician hotline in the event a client must receive emergency treatment. We provide funds to purchase medical alert bracelets for kids and adults, as well as distribute helmets and protective gear to keep our active kids safe. In order to keep families connected not only with HOG, but other families within the bleeding disorders community, we have access to social media such as Twitter as well as Facebook. We also have an e-newsletter that we send out.
At Hemophilia of Georgia, we want to get to know you and your family. We want you to come and get involved with us, and there are many ways to do that. You may decide to volunteer. We especially need volunteers for Camp Wanaclot, our summer camp program, and at our golf tournament and other fundraising events. But you can also come to a client event like family camp, one of our client dinners throughout the state, or you may decide you want to be involved in advocacy. We work in the Georgia General Assembly and in Washington, D.C. to make sure that legislation is beneficial to people with bleeding disorders.
Hemophilia of Georgia provides so many opportunities for us to get together with other families who are in the same situation that we're in as parents with children with hemophilia. Chase loves to go to Camp Wanaclot every summer. He's graduating from high school this year, so he plans to be a volunteer at camp this year, and he's so excited about that.
When I first went to Camp Wanaclot, it was revolutionary for me to find other people that were like me. So when we became friends, instantly almost, it seemed like there was someone else in the world that faced the same problems that I did.
Going to camp for him when he was 7 taught him to infuse himself. He has done that ever since he was 7 years old.
I'd stuck it in there the first time and missed, actually. And she said, you can try it again. And then she just kept pushing me forward on to the point to where I could just do it by myself. And the entire rest of the week I was sticking myself. Confidence was overflowing out of me. It was really a great feeling of just independence.
We love to go to Trot to Clot. It raises money for camp. Chase was the top fundraiser one year, a couple of years ago.
When I was walking around the first time, it was basically meeting all these new people that I had never met before, all coming together for one cause.
In this season of our life where Chase is going into college and will be moving out of the house soon, we are so thankful that we've had Hemophilia of Georgia as a resource in our lives, because I can feel comfortable that now he can go out as a man and start his own life and be his own person and know exactly what to do and when to do it because of all the training and love that he's received from the hemophilia staff.
I've learned that I'm going to have to take care of myself more on my own, and to know that I have to be independent, I can also be dependent on the people at HOG.
My biggest concern, and being the mommy that I am, I want him to be a well-rounded child. It terrifies me that he is so active.
I want him to be a boy, and we're going to allow him to be a boy.
Absolutely.
We're not going to hinder him from doing anything that he want to do.
Knowing that Hemophilia of Georgia is just a phone call away it just helps us feel more at peace. We are not as anxious, definitely, as when we first brought Ryan home. They stepped in and they have just walked along this journey with us. And I just always feel like they will always be there.